Hello to the TUC meeting on 12th of December. Today we have our usual agenda. There is no working group update. We won't have anything because Marcella is not feeling well. Hope she gets soon well soon. And continue with the action items from last week. So what we had. Amelia notify working group leads to try to use cleanup on some repositories. I think Amelia did this, so I saw some discussions. Check this. Okay, then we can continue with the updates with the review of the PRs. So the first one is one small change, which is actually defining the default branch for the otel-collector-release. Yeah. We have already two rules here. We have, okay. Can then match this one.
That's enough, right? And I can press the button. Oh, it's already merged. Perfect.
The next one is about new repository, which the foundational infrastructure working.
Yes. Das ist nichts dokumentiert und das läuft alles so mit, wir setzen uns in ein Meeting, probiert mal und dann wird es schon.
I need to organize a little bit of silence here in the room.
Yeah, if we organize, Stephan, if you can mute.
Yeah, all the buttons are gone.
Change the settings. Okay, we have 3 approvals. Yeah, I think it's enough. Stephan, do you want to approve? Okay, I'm merging this one also. The next one, so there was a comment by Stephan. I think it's we need to wait for a response here. Most probably they don't need admin rights for this.
Yeah, I thought dependency bumps are also done by many other projects, and usually it can be done without admin rights. But there might be special things I don't know. So that's why if in case admin rights are really needed, then I would say the PR is okay. But I was surprised by just for dependency bumps, not the magic secrets management was mentioned.
I believe there's cases with if you have check set up and stuff, but maybe there's other ways to work around that. I think there's branch protection things you can do.
Yeah,
worth looking into.
Yeah, let's wait for the response here, and then we can check on this next time. The next one, I wasn't sure. Seems like Ruben has some context here, or at least walked into this one. It's most probably a working group thing.
Yeah, this was part of like that. We pinged a bunch of people, right, because of the cleanup, and this was something that came out of that. Just missing bot. But actually, is it? Yeah, it's added as a bot. So yeah, it just needs to be there.
Yeah.
So Ian is the the manager for the cryogenics team.
So we can help here and then approve this.
Yeah, it's basically a working group internal thing, right? So you can both simply say it's okay and merge it, I would say.
This is which working group is this? Right.
This
This
is
is app runtime.
Yeah,
It's not even
that's
our
cool.
working group.
Or
it's Amelia.
I will remove us. I just edit us, but it's a working group. They should decide by themselves how to proceed with this. I will remove our reviews here, the label, the working group. I wasn't sure, completely sure what to do here. I will remove the review requests. And the next one is about the update of the RFC about readiness health check. So Amelia applied the comments Stephan had here. It looks good now, for me at least.
Yep, me as well now.
Are you on it, Ruben, or should I merge?
Yeah, no, I'm on it. It's approved. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Great. And the last one is my favorite one. I'm bringing every meeting this one up.
Yeah.
So basically, I implemented. This should be the final state how I think this work. Basically, the Python will analyze the users, edit the contributors YAML, and I'm using something which we use on a different place to create the PR. This
Yep, I looked through it. There are a few typos, simple things.
Yeah.
There's one piece of code that was difficult for me to understand. I think that can be formulated much easier with a list operation. And then there's some general things like linting and formatting, minor thing that's there. And I don't know, it's usually difficult to test such actions without running them completely. So what have helped in the past is a dry run flag that does everything, prints out the results, but just doesn't create the PRs every time. So then you can iterate faster. Just an idea. I mean, it's if everything works, it's not needed, of course.
You mean for the GitHub action debugging and so, or local execution?
No, if here would be a on this Python script a sort of a dry run flag that just prints everything out into the log. Maybe the existing log is already good enough, and then it could return an exit code 1, which means I think this one would then not be executed, right? The PR, because the first one has failed, and that would already help.
Yeah, the Python script won't create any PR. It just
but then you can simply run the action already and see if all the installations, the requirements, etc. Runs out. Just an idea.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is should be easy to add.
Yeah. But otherwise, yeah. I mean, it comes now out this one PR with this long list of 600 users, right? So we would then need to translate the description into the notifications, wait for this 2 weeks, and let's see what happens. But yeah, I think it's the best what we can do. And once the initial cleanup is done, everything is then incremental and is then 1 or 2 users, maybe 10. That will be easy then.
Yeah. So the first initial PR will need manual changes because the list will be too long. I didn't implement any special logic to analyze whether we have below or above 50 users, and yeah. But when it runs every month once, it should be fine.
Yeah.
It's up to date. Yeah. Another question, should we start this cleanup activity before Christmas?
No. It would be unfair with the 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Let's use the remaining time to clean it up, have a dry run, and then in January.
Yeah, that's why I also was thinking, I maybe can manage to finish until the end of the week or beginning of next week, but 2 weeks will be somehow unfair. And yeah, okay, then please provide feedback if you have any. Check. So then we can jump to any other business. Amelia is not here. I don't know whether someone has context on the first topic.
Yeah, I have. So we have a new Google Drive thing, Broadcom based, and apparently a few of these documents are started in the VMware Google Drive. And there's a policy where we're not allowed to change owners. So probably this is a good time to have the owner be someone at the foundation, right? So maybe create a new TOC document and update the links, or I don't know, just copy this one over to the.
I'll just copy paste and create a new doc. I mean, if we transfer ownership, which is the same thing, really. Yeah.
So we basically just fork this document into the foundation and then update the links everywhere.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Cool. Thanks.
So it will be again a Google Doc, Chris?
Yeah, it'll be in a Google Doc again. It'll be, the exact same thing, but just a different owner and different link. And I'll update those links.
Okay, sounds good. Then we can proceed to the next one regarding the Paketo Slack channel.
Yeah, that's all rectified now. Paketo Slack workspace is back up and running. It is no longer suspended. And I'm also, I am now the primary owner of that, so Broadcom should not be able to shut that off. I had a follow-up meeting with our Slack account rep yesterday to confirm all that, and so that shouldn't happen again. That shouldn't be a problem. So don't think we need to debrief on that too much more. But yeah, Paketo Slack was down for almost a week. It was definitely annoying for many of those folks, but that's all set now.
Were you able to restore the history, everything? How is it?
Yep. Yeah, everything's there. At least I haven't heard that anything's missing. So I believe it's all set. I don't know if there was some workflow. And I believe everyone that was a member is back as a member. It was just a suspension, and then I believe everything is right back up and the history is there. I haven't heard anything to the contrary from the Paketo folks. So
yeah, it was done because apparently there was a policy, and the fact that the owner had an @VMware email address meant that it was like suspended. Like they did like 1,000 workspaces or something in one sweep. So it was a really big cleanup.
Right. Yeah, the former VMware employee was the primary owner, and I was just a lowly owner, and that enabled them to shut the whole thing down. But you know, and that was just a minor oversight. You know, we had transferred over the billing to the LF, but we didn't do that one thing where we just changed the primary owner from him to me. So that's done now. So there shouldn't be a problem.
Great. And now we can proceed to the next one regarding the Docker driver integration tests.
Yeah, this one, I think we're the runtime team, or the platform runtime team is kind of in discussions with the service management teams regarding the ownership of this. So I'm just kind of surfacing this for visibility. Runtime team doesn't use this repo, but the service management team does. And so we're trying to kind of establish where the edges are, taking a second look at this because it seems a little ill-fitting at this moment, but you know, I have my perspective, and the service management team has a different perspective. So we're kind of just working through that at this moment, just raising this for visibility, and nothing more. Yeah, because we've had a few pull requests that have come in from the service management team and for code that they run, but we have to review it, and it just seems a little odd. So I'll just conversations are ongoing, and I'll let everybody know what the outcome is.
Thank you, Marc.
I see. So this is for the volume driver. Yeah, makes sense.
And now we want to see some great stuff from LFX.
Yeah, well, so LFX, in case you all don't know, is a platform that the Linux Foundation has been building that's got an organizational dashboard for your open source department, individual dashboards for contributors and everyone else involved in Linux Foundation projects. There's a dashboard for me as a program manager to kind of do various things, automate various tasks, and try and become generally more efficient. There's insights and security. We've talked about some of these things in the past, but now there's an LFX meetings platform, which is basically it's Zoom based, so that's going to remain constant. But I am going to launch a new invite for this meeting, effective for next week. So I'll either get that set up today or tomorrow. So you'll see a new invite pop up for those of you who are in the TOC. And a new link will be posted on the community calendar. You shouldn't see much of a change. For those of you that are in the TOC, I think most of you already have like an LF ID and things like that. I do think that this will be a public meeting still. It'll still be recorded. It'll still go to YouTube. I do think for people that aren't in the TOC and the committee to join as a guest, I do think you need to put in an email address. That's all though. And that's just, track attendance and also to mitigate risks of spam or troll people jumping in and bombing us with offensive content, which we have not had a problem with in the CF community, but this definitely happens in other open source meetings. So I'm not going to go through, there's a slide deck which kind of introduces this stuff. I'm just going to drop it in the TOC channel. If you want me to run through it, I can, but it's pretty straightforward. You'll see a new invite link, and it should be pretty easy to join. The instructions are pretty obvious and self-serving. So I'll just drop this in the TOC channel right now.
When do we will start to use it?
Next week.
Oh, next week.
Yeah.
Great.
So
my Zoom.
yeah, so I mean, next week, if there's any issues, I'll be on the call. We can talk through that and troubleshoot anything, but then we'll set it up for next year. And this has been around for a little while. There are some features that I've been kind of hesitant to adopt it, even though people were asking me to, because there were some features that I just really wanted. But right now, I think it's feature complete. There's like one thing I'd like for next year, but it's not that important. So it works. I've been using it for the governing board meetings for this and another project. At some point next year, I'll roll it out for the working groups as well. But right now, we'll just do the TOC. make sure everything's running smoothly for the next month or so. And then, you know, if you all have any issues or complaints or questions, we can address those. So.
Will that mean, like, will we change the calendar link? So there's now this like public calendar that you can subscribe to get all the meetings. Will that be replaced?
The public calendar will stay the same, but I will update that with the new links.
Okay, so we won't be using the calendar subscription functionality from LFX.
Oh, well, that's kind of up to individuals. There will be, if you go into your individual dashboard, you can see all the meetings that you're invited to. But that doesn't work for members of the public who want to join this meeting. So I'm going to keep the community calendar that we have running for Cloud Foundry. I'm going to keep that running in parallel so that community folks can see when these meetings happen. Because otherwise you'd have to, like, not everyone has an LFID, and there's not a really way to broadcast that to the wider community. I guess eventually I might be able to replace that with like a link or instructions. But as for right now, we're going to keep the community calendar as it is with updated links. And then, yes, if you go into your individual dashboard in LFX, you'll be able to see all the meetings that you are invited to. So for the TOC members, that's one way to do it. Or you could see your working groups and your once that's on there and the TOC call. But I'm going to keep the community calendar going as is for the time being.
Okay.
So I just it didn't like show a nice thumbnail or anything, but I put the LFX meeting slide deck in the TOC channel, so you can all take a look at that. And when we roll this out to like working groups and stuff like that, I'll do more of a public announcement to the wider CF community that, you know, explaining this and share this in general. But for right now, I figured we'll just start it up on the TOC channel and the TOC call, and then next year we can you know, move over other public calls to this. So yeah, ping me if you have any issues or questions, but you should all see a new invite coming out. I'll probably get to this today, but if not today, tomorrow, for next Tuesday's meeting.
So action item for us to accept that invite, or is there an action item for us? Not
really. You'll get a new invite. And when you want to join the meeting next week, you'll need to, you know, log in or put in an email. And yeah, of course, this also ties in nicely with my action item to create a new Google Doc meeting notes for this. So I'll set up all that in the next day or so.
So this is an action item for you.
This is an action item for me. Yeah, to send a new invite for the TOC call on LFX meetings. Okay,
I somehow felt that there needs to be an action item.
No, you all just need
okay.
You'll receive a new invite. So I don't know if that's really an action.
The action item is you sending out the invite, I guess.
Correct.
Yeah. And last but not least, we had our poll regarding the availability, and it looks like we can cancel the meetings on 26th of December and January 2nd.
And I've already done that in the old calendar invite, which will soon be irrelevant, but I'll also do that in the new calendar invite coming out, as I said, later today.
Okay, thank you. So we clarified this one also. Is there anything else?
I don't know, short VIPS update. Progress is being made. CF deployment testing is on the way. And I think there's currently some discussion on Cloud Controller regarding digests that are being used. So there's still some MD5 hashes that are being used to get temporary or like unique paths for build packs and those types of things. And MD5 is not allowed or doesn't work on their VIPs. So yeah, I don't know, discussion needs to be had. Stephan, you're muted.
Okay, so we will look into the cloud controller stuff. We will start with the MD5. It will be probably challenging because we will need some migration paths. If we change it, it's somewhere persisted. That's the ideas, but we haven't looked too deep into it. So
I've
we'll see.
patched it, so I'm running my own deployment. So I've patched it. It's Ruby, so I just changed the algorithm. It seems to work. But I think we need to have a broader discussion on which algorithms to use, because just going to SHA-1 or SHA-256 has a performance impact, right? Just to calculate file paths, I don't know, might not be ideal. So I'm internally asking. So we have a FIPS compliance engineer that I'm having a conversation with about what the recommendations are around this. So
a handcrafted hash algorithm for such use cases is also an alternative. If we call it MD6, it would also be fine because nobody will recognize it.
I mean, there's already a note somewhere in the code base that says switch to XXH hash, which is like a way faster, more performant hashing that's non-cryptographic. But I don't know what we would need to do to prove that this is a non-cryptographic use case. I have no idea, and I don't. So. But yeah, something to think about.
So we will start with the cloud controller for sure. There's more than just this MD5. There are other things, if I remember correctly, on UAA, which is being addressed. And there's
the pre-start in UAA has been fixed already and released, so that works. The Cred Hub, I think there's a story, but it's not addressed. So in my environment, I've just taken out Cred Hub. And then there is also a bump of the OpenSSL gem that's used by Cloud Controller that was already released. That fixes some issues. So I'm now by replacing the algorithms with just search replace, I'm able to get into staging. So I'm now going through staging, except it cannot find the build packs because I need to make changes on the Diego side as well. So I'm just trying to hack my way around to see if there's other components that also have failures. But yeah, I think that the hash thing has a bigger impact. It's like there's the cloud controller side as well as the Diego side that needs and we need to have that all match up.
Okay.
But there is activity from the different working groups. So is there something blocked?
I think UAA also wanted to start testing with the VIP stem cell. They just need to get access. But they need to provide a service account for us to be able to do that. But that discussion is ongoing, so I don't think it's really blocked. It's just a matter of them finding or creating a service account and then giving access. So I think everything is in flight. It's just a bit chaotic. There's that one issue, and then you are digging it, or I'm digging into a thing, and then halfway through the day I check that issue and it has been updated, and there's it's now a known issue, and there's already details here. So there's a bit of that lag, I think, in information propagation. Just because I do not get any updates on that issue, because it's usually done through edits. So if you just edit the issue, I do not get a notification. So that's a more of a practical thing. But yeah, apart from that, I think it's going pretty well.
Good. Is there anything else? Doesn't seem to be the case. Then we are done for today. So take care and see you next time.
Okay. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.